I shudder to think where I would be if there were no equinox. I don't think that I would be alive today. I was pretty much set on having a short and fiery ride through this world. I was self-destructing. I don't think I would be here today without Equinox. It was a sinking ship. I called a referral number and I was given the number of Equinox.
The reason why I was in Equinox is because I was not safe at home. There was problems like abuse, just things like that. I turned to drugs, and again, they weren't like hard drugs or whatever. It was just a little weed, and then I was afraid that I was gonna go for more, like harder drugs. And school, I failed in school, and like I decided I needed to do something. I needed to get my life back together.
One morning, me and my husband were fighting, and my son was still asleep, and he woke up out of sound sleep, screaming and crying, and anytime we started raising our voices, he was screaming and crying, and I couldn't imagine, I never realized what an effect it had, just the yelling. When the police arrested my husband, after he had hit me, they had given me the number for Equinox.
Some of the problems that brought me to Equinox were my inability to accept authority, I guess, when I was a little younger. I began to feel that the program at Equinox was helping me probably on the first day because it relieved a lot of the stress and pressure that had been on me before.
My experiences at the youth shelter, they were better than I thought they'd be, because when you hear shelter, you know, you think of like homeless people or whatever, and you don't necessarily want to think of yourself as homeless, even though you are, but they helped me out a great deal. They got a lot of staff who are supportive and, you know, basically are to talk to anybody when they want to.
I learned a lot about power and about responsibility, my own and other people's. I learned to be angry at my abuser instead of at myself and instead of the rest of the world.
If I never came to Equinox, I think my life would be exactly the same way it was before. I'd still be in an unsafe situation, be unsure of myself, and just insecure, and it just wouldn't be really good at all.
If I'd never come to the youth shelter, I probably wouldn't have learned how to deal with people, basically. Before, it was just I was at home, and my way of dealing with people was always defensive way. I learned to be a little calmer, a little less on guard all the time. And it affected me in a good way, because people don't look at me and think, well, geez, what's his problem?
I didn't see myself as being abused, as some, you know, many stories of people that have been abused have been very severe. And my case wasn't as severe, but so I felt like I shouldn't have been here at first, and they made me realize that I had just gotten out sooner than some.
I was a big troublemaker in Missouri, so either way I've been put in a home there or here, and I'm just glad I got put in Equinox.
The experience at Equinox was really good. It's helped me learn more about AIDS and HIV and understanding how to prevent it.
Before I came into Equinox, I had no family, no friends. My family disowned me when I was pregnant, when I became pregnant, and I really didn't have anybody.
Before I got involved with the lifeguard program, I wandered around, basically got into trouble and did what I wanted. And after I got in the lifeguard program, I had something to do. There were certain times and days, you know, at this time I'm going to be here instead of out getting into trouble.
I volunteered at the center because I think it's interesting working with the youth and giving information to try to help youth, some things that I've been through, to try to stop them from doing and give them advice and positive advice so they don't have to go through the same stuff that I've been through, and just trying to help them out with any problems they have.
I was asked to participate in counseling with my brother to kind of shed some of the family perspective on the situation. My brother is was diagnosed HIV positive, and for me it really helped me to learn compassion and understanding toward the addiction and toward the diagnosis.
Number one goal, I think, is to provide safety for women and children. And then after getting them to a safe place, helping them to explore their options and how they can live a violent-free life. And those options may be education, finances, housing, and also helping them to reconnect to their community and their family. But most important, I think, is helping them to, giving them a place where they can process and talk about the pain they've experienced so they can move on.
We have a ropes course in the Albany High School gym, and it's a series of ropes and activities suspended in the air. And we go up in those, and that builds a lot of confidence and trust. People feel good about it. The lifeguard program teaches you about safe risk-taking, teaches you skills you can use in the world to solve your problems without getting in trouble and without going to the wrong things. And it gives you a sense of trust and holds people together, and you make friends.
What Equinox offers that other programs in the state of New York don't offer is a sense of they're allowing you, to go through your day and make decisions for yourself. It's just like a home. I think that's really what everything centers around, is our respect for each other, and everything else comes from that.
As far as goal planning and, what's the next step after this program, money management, just things like that, which are involved with living on your own, they helped me out a great deal. So I'm glad that I got the opportunity to be in a program such as this.
Through Equinox, I found that I was very far from alone in my experience, and I was able to share and understand my specific experiences and the abuse I endured, and understand that there were a lot of different ways to channel it, and positive ways as well, to deal with the memories and to deal with the anger, and to learn what I could and couldn't control in my life.
If it wasn't for Equinox, I would have gone back to my husband. Just everything was so hard to begin with. If I didn't have them to lean on, I wouldn't have been able to pull through it.
If all of my family could see the things that I've done, even they would be very proud of me.
Not too far in the future, I'd like to see myself in college, becoming a teacher. And in between that, I'd like to work in homes so I can help people that do the same thing that the Equinox has done for me.
The program has reached a lot of people and a lot of kids, and it's just built up friendship and trust in all those kids. Without the program, where would they be and what would they do?
In the past 3 years, I've seen really significant, monumental changes in Paul. He's still struggling, but I see him today with a life that is so much more manageable than it was 3 years ago. He has personal dignity today. He's gained personal dignity as a result of that counseling process. He knows how to set limits with people today. He's no longer a victim. He can give himself a voice today.
Equinox, they gave me my life back.
I know I'm only 14 now, but I believe that 14 is an age to start from. I learned from being at Equinox that I can do whatever I put my heart to. And I know that whatever I dream of can really come true.